Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Cheap Bears Off Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. And yeah, today is the 13th of May, and another day into the dice contest. But today we want to start off with looking at my mulberry trees. Yeah, try to say that 5 times fast. That. All right. So anyway, looking at how good they're coming out this year. Really enjoying it. These little tubes that I put at the bottom here have been keeping the squirrels from being able to climb up the trunk of this thing and devour all the leaves. So those work out great. For those of you who want to know how I did that, I took some of that 3-inch pipe and I cut it about 30 inches tall. Then I sliced it down. I did that on my table saw actually. I just cut it down one side and then put a couple of screws in there and used some tie wire to lace it back together again and tie it back in there. So you first open it up and put it around the trunk of your tree and then lace it back together again. And then if you're going to tie it up so the wind won't blow it down, you don't even have to worry about the wire or anything cutting into the bark of the tree because it's protected like that. So this has been working out really good this year. These I just planted recently. I will come over and take a look at them. And they need to have a little bit more water added to them, but they're strong and resilient. And because these were just planted and now we're going into a heat wave, been the 90s for the past few days, I cut this one a little shorter so that it would expose a little bit more of the leaves because it's a young tree, young sapling. And you notice the old rusty can down there. A little tip for those of you who are planning, I know some places it's just getting into springtime out there and you're thinking about planting trees. Well, a good little trick. When you dig the hole, make it twice the size of the root ball to start with, and then put a little fertilizer in the bottom of the hole and put a thin layer of soil back over that fertilizer, and then throw 2 or 3 old rusty cans in there. And I like to burn my cans in the fire pit first because some of them have plastic linings inside and that stuff, and it'll burn the paper off of them and it'll burn the plastic liners out of the inside. Then throw 2 or 3 of those down in the bottom of the hole and plant your tree. And what that'll do is it'll slow release iron in around the roots so that the tree can have that extra nutrient in its soil as it's trying to expand its roots. Neat little tip. And this one over here came back to life. It was looking really shabby at the beginning of the year. I also cut the height of the white tube down a little bit to let the new growth out a little bit more. And this thing has probably sprouted up an extra 10 inches taller since I did that. So I'll be getting some water onto those today and make sure that they're healthy. And this one over here, same thing. It's got some fresh growth on it and looking good. So sooner or later, these mulberry trees are going to be up pretty large. I'll have some critters living in them, but I'll also have some shade around the chicken coop. Although the chicken coop has plenty of shade, as you can see, everybody's in the shade here. And look at how big these little ones have gotten. Give them another week and a half, and they'll be moving in with the big guys because they're already about the same size. So they should be able to take care of their own. Of course, they're still young. I mean, you know, they're only what, 6 weeks. But these New Hampshire Reds grow very quickly. They get very big very quickly. But I'll still have to wait for quite a while before they're ready for laying eggs. So they're still on their high protein feed. No calcium. They don't need it because they're not laying eggs. Just lots of protein. That helps them build strong muscles and bodies. All right, very quickly, we're going to head on over to the garden house and catch up on that, since I haven't shown you that in a couple of days, or a few days. And geez, I forget, did anybody spot any dice yet? Oh well, maybe we'll spot some soon. All right, so anyway, I head inside of here. You can see my what do you call those things? Those squash that everybody runs when and closes their blinds when they see you coming. Zucchini. There you go. Or zucchini. Anyway, everything's looking good out here. The peaches are really getting big fast. So this peach tree is as healthy as they come. Really happy with that. I'll show you my grafts over here. I've showed you those a few days back. But look at this is a Fuji apple I got from my friend Andy's tree, and it's just full of sprouts. So that's a successful graft. And this one's a Sharon apple, and this one's really busting out all over. It's going to be really a healthy one. So I'm happy with the grafts on this tree. Not happy that the pears didn't take this year, but hey, we'll see what we can do next year. I'll make sure I'll get a little bit more of the potassium into the fertilizer mix for them when I do, because the fertilizer is what really makes these things happy. My little beanstalk down there has given me its 4 beans off of it. Every year it gives me 4, and then it dies like this. So interesting. Anyway, you know what I'm thinking is, this is an apple sucker that's growing out of the rootstock. And I'm thinking that I should have probably just cut this off completely, and it may have stolen the energy needed for the pears, along with the grafts that I have on here. So maybe what I'll do is, since I see no sign of any buds on this apple, what I'll end up doing is I'll cut them down shorter, and I'll graft more apple or pear onto there, like I did for these scions, and get those to start growing some good fruit. All right, so let's head on down this way. Tomatoes are doing really good. You remember my clones that I broke off of that plant over there and I stuck in the ground? Well, they're happy. They're doing well. We'll have some tomatoes coming up here soon. I got to get that one tied back up. The winds have been coming up at night like they're supposed to, and that's fine because it makes electricity all night long. Anyway, this one is the Bosque pear from that tree over there that I just showed you, and its graft looks pretty healthy there, so we'll see what that does when next year comes around. I'm still not sure about this graft down here, but I'll let it sit for a little while longer. It seems pretty solid when I touch it, so it may still be okay. This grapevine is finally growing up to be a big boy, and I'll get it tied up again. The more I tie it on the stick, the less energy it puts into the plant or requires from the plant to grow its stems, so they grow out longer and faster that way. So I'll try to get this one up to the trellis and work from there. All right, so on this one, I got plenty of little sprouts coming out there. I've got some little furry buds on the ends of this, so we'll see if those take or not. But this one was just an emergency that broke off of one of those apple trees over there, so I just quickly grafted it into the main bark here and see if it takes. And normally whenever you see leaves on them, you want to take leaves off, because they'll suck out and dry it. And I left them on there and totally forgot about taking them off, so I'll come back in later and trim those off. All right, so got another strawberry down there. I ate the other one, it was delicious. And got another strawberry there, and I've seen some jalapenos Little baby jalapenos down in here popping out. Yep, see them? Oh yeah. So I got some jalapenos coming out. And I got a poblano over there on that plant. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. This one was doing really well, and then all of a sudden it just started dying off. I don't know why, but we'll have to find out. See if I can't nurse it back to health. All right, these 3 rows I've planted corn, and I got to keep them wet, so I'll be coming through here as soon as I cut this video off, and I'll be getting those wetted down. And everything that's inside of there is all watered down for the day, so I'm fine there. And I've got the critical stuff like the apple trees out here, and since I moved them out, you can see their leaves are looking a little healthier and happier, getting out of that high heat that's in there. I got to get some water on my pear and date seeds, and on my catnip and my tangelo plant, and on my radishes. Everything's drying up out here, really hot. So I'll be heading up to the cabin now, and I'll get this video closed off and get started on uploading it. And then I think I'll have a cold beer and then come out here, and the sun will be down a little further, and I could water everything really well without having to worry about too much evaporation before the night is up. So I've been sleeping good at night with the winds come up at night, and nice and... Ouch! I just bumped my foot into a firewood stick there. That was terrible. Anyway, yeah, sleep good at night with just a window or 2 open, and get up in the morning all refreshed and ready to go at it again. Okay, so last but not least, before I close this off, I wanted to show you another one of my new sayings here. And let's see if I can't get that in focus here. And it says, "Learn something new every day, or you've wasted a day of your life," by G. Bear. I know some of you like my sayings. This one I did way back in the early 80s. Knowledge is a precious commodity. Possess it and you are rich. Trade it and you'll become even richer. And what that means is, if you've got some knowledge, but somebody else also has something that you don't know, you tell them what you know, they tell you what they know, and now you've got more knowledge, so you're richer. Right? That's all, everybody. Thanks for joining me. And I don't have to go over these rules again. I know you can look back at yesterday's or the day before's video, and you can see those on there and get the information you need. This is G. Bear, thanking you for joining me. Don't forget the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. G. Bear signing off.